Hello there. I'm sure you're on this video because you like cars, you want to build or have some really cool beasts, if you want to put it that way. And this is why I'm here. I'm going to keep on demonstrating fundamental skills, some fundamental principles in Alias, how we build cars and have some fun with these. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I will be building this A6, the C7 model, and transform it into an RS7. Rs6, sorry. So I've had a short change of heart there. Instead of going ahead and fully finishing an A6 and making you waste time, if you want to put it that way, let's go ahead and make this car from scratch. But from the early beginning, it's going to be an RS6. So let's drop in the canvas for that. Follow along how I do that. You've seen also in previous videos. If not, go ahead in my Alias Basics tutorial, have a look at how we set up really good blueprints, and then let's modify this and make this become our next tutorial series to build an RS6, and that will be also a foundation series. So some fundamentals there, how we build things. It's going to be a nice journey. So grab onto some patience. Hope you like this and subscribe and keep tuning in. So first step, I'm gonna bring in the canvas for this R6 and match it with this, see where we stand and keep going from there. So pull this off of the internet and we can see that this has a wheelbase of 2915. Let's see what the other one says, 2912. So there's a little difference for you in there. Let's align these two based on the front wheel center. So what I want to do is get this in here and do what I've done in the other video. So I'll just skip through this quickly and I'll catch you in a bit. So one fundamental thing you need to know in Alias is how to move things. So for that, I've selected S, so with pick object, selected that. I'll go into move, and with Control Alt, I'll click with the middle mouse button on this line here. This brings me that canvas there, and then with Control Alt, I'll hit this line with the right mouse button, and this snaps it to the height of that line. That's cool. And now I'll just scale this back to match. I want to match the windshield, the center line, and then the rest will fall into place. I'll place this now at this junction because we know from the tech spec of the RS6 that most of the car is the same like with A6. So I'll match these lines up. This is pretty good. And let's match these up as well. So I'm just simply scaling back. So that's bumper is different. Front wheel arch very similar. The DLO has to be the same because it's sharing the same cabin. Something we need to take care of there. Now let's scale this back a little bit because all of these lines need to match. Now that they do, front wheels seem to be in a similar place, but the RS6 of course has bigger wheels, so that means that some of this placement will be a little bit different. The rear wheel arch is not going to be the same because it's wider, but the front door shut line should be similar. The hood will be different, the front end will be different. The lights will be very similar. They might have a slightly different placement. So this is what we need to do to match these up nicely. And another thing that might happen is actually that it's sitting a little bit different on the road. So if we turn this ever so slightly, it will align almost everything nicely up. A little bit of scalement. So that is putting us very good. So those lines are lining up, the DLO is lining up, the shoulder line is the same, the belt line is almost the same. So let's rotate this ever so slightly or scale it, or both. This puts us in a very good position as most of the feature lines are all lining up and we start seeing the small differences between the two cars. But what's important is that these lines all line up. So if I hide that away and bring it back, we've got an alignment there. And it's a very, very small deviation. But for me, that was important to get the DLO right because, well, we're sharing the same DLO. The main changes are this area here, the bumper, that bumper, and the rest is the same. So we can already build an RS6 without having to go through the motions of the A6. That sounds really cool to me, and I'm really excited to start working on this. So the next bit, getting the other views right, and jobs are good in. So let's place this one on the same plane with this one. So I'll go pick object, click on move, and then with Control Alt and middle mouse button, clicking it on that line there, it's gonna snap it straight away there. Cool. Now let's take the Rs6 blueprint and place the rear of it. Let's bring this over. There we go. That's one happy canvas. One more fundamental, the object lister. So this is where we get our layers. Here we go in Windows, object lister, click on that, and right mouse button click here, which brings me this list up, and I'll click on new layer from selected objects. This brings me in a new layer. And you'll see if I click here, it turns it off and back on again. And if you double click it, that's renaming it. And now with the middle mouse button, I'll click and drag it up here between the two layers, and that's going to place it there. Let's snap the front one in position. So this, move, Control Alt, little mouse button, snapped it there. That's it. Good. Now the final bit is this top view there. I'll rotate it the x-axis, so let's click on pick object, click here rotate. Now I'll type in here relative because I want it relative to the pivot it's got, and then space and hit 90 degrees. And now I should be looking at it from the top, and that's not what I wanted. So I want to rotate it like this. So it was correct. Let's click here, 90, that's correct. Let's pick this blueprint as well. Snap this one into the right position. This was with the Control Alt and right mouse button. That gives me the Z motion in a, let's say, up and down motion in an orthographic view. And let's search for this. This is the top view. This is what I'm looking for. It's placed correctly. There we go. That's it. And now let's put them on the right layers, and that's done. And that's a tutorial for you with movement, rotation, layers, object lister, and how we organize the file. So thank you for that, and I'll catch you in my next video. And of course, this will become from now on the Alias Foundation tutorial series based on the RS6. So follow along. Thank you for being here.